Hello! This is part 2 of my analysis of the Knuckles show in relation to the movies coming before it. Be sure to watch part 1 first so you're all caught up. Now, on with the video.
How about that power, huh? Everybody's trying to steal Sonic and Knuckles' power, maybe Tails is worth stealing as well. This is clearly a very important aspect of the movies, but then there comes a comparison. So, unfortunately, the second Sonic movie was kind of a train wreck as far as representing Sonic's power went, right? Almost everything that Sonic used his power for in the second movie was kind of some attempt at being, like, weirdly offensively present. He was almost always trying to beat Knuckles at his own game whenever the two would clash, and as you can understand, good luck trying to do that. Do I look like I need your power? Sonic didn't do a very good job in his own element either in the second movie, with his attempt to run across the sea while being very cool in concept and started out very cool. It didn't really succeed in, well, not only did he fail, he didn't really fail gracefully. Dodging of Knuckles' super fast punches while they were fighting, not really working out too well for him either. Why don't you stand still and die with honor? Honor! And Sonic's admittedly rather clever plan of using himself as a distraction for Robotnik not really going well either. He almost died in that process because he literally couldn't outrun a collapsing bridge. You are the fastest thing alive, right? Tell me so. Please. Tell me so. You're the fastest thing alive! Sonic and Knuckles' like really climactic fight that was like super led up to and hyped up ultimately didn't last very long, and for very logical reasons, Sonic was just not doing a very good job. The Knuckles show had action sequences that were absolutely top-notch, doing an excellent job of showing Knuckles fighting a really challenging fight multiple times without either side really dominating or having any particular advantage over the other. In Knuckles' fights with the GUN agents, they were quite evenly matched. The X-agents were very much playing Knuckles' game rather like Sonic was, but they were really good at it. Both sides were exuding massive amounts of power, showing just these spectacles of chaos energy flying all over the place, and using various clever little tactics to get an edge. Knuckles pulling off the one guy's glove to remove his advantage, Agent Willoughby using a broken rifle as a short-range weapon, Knuckles using a golden bowling ball as a mirror to see what's happening behind him, and then using that same ball as a weapon. Decoys were put into play, rings were put into play, there was lots of teamwork going on. These action sequences had in Knuckles were absolutely jam-packed. Knuckles was in his element all the way, and it absolutely worked. It doesn't matter if the question was of raw strength, strategy, or sometimes leverage even. Knuckles was really good at it, but still faced great challenges that were absolutely satisfying to watch, like regardless of whether he won or lost. Knuckles and Sonic have extremely different specialties, and Sonic's specialty was unfortunately not all that well presented. I'm kind of sad for the guy. Are you okay, little bud? Are you not as fast as you'd like? Do you need a hug? Now, for my favorite part, the themes. The theme of the first and second Sonic movie was in, like, friendship and family, respectively. These were things that Sonic had been stripped of when he was younger, and he was absolutely desperate to achieve. That was a lot of his character in the first movie, and a need that he still had in the second one, even if a lot of that stuff had been resolved in the first. But unfortunately, the way these themes were presented was rather forced, and kinda hard to pick out in both movies. Like I mentioned, Sonic and Tom's relationship, the theme there was friendship, but their relationship didn't have a very clear progression, and while they very much were friends at the end, the way that they got there was remarkably unclear. Indeed, Tom becoming more of a parental figure for Sonic in the second movie was actually pretty natural for the way that Tom's character worked, but only if you completely ignore the writer's attempts to show progress in their relationship in the first movie. That little alien knew more about being human than you ever will. As it stood, the kind of donut dad shindig they had going on in the second movie was kind of just awkward, seeming rather like Tom had backslid several steps in his character progression, and the movie even kind of acknowledged this. You're supposed to be my friend. Stop trying to be my dad. Sonic's relationships with Tails and Knuckles, too, didn't really seem conducive to either of these themes, with the one with Tails being rather forced, as I mentioned earlier, and the one with Knuckles being more like a perfectly solid alliance. These both didn't seem like a natural shift into friendship at all, let alone family, as the brotherly relationship they tried to present at the end of the second movie. They were so close! Indeed, the stress put on both friendship and family was kind of half-baked in both movies, leading to little more than cute interactions with when Sonic as a character, let alone the audience, needed so much more. Sprinkles, this is your new destiny. But then, the theme of the story told in the Knuckles show, oh my gosh, it was one of feeling at home, and Echidna Warrior has no home. Of, again, family, and to top it all off, of tradition. These were presented thoroughly. Knuckles' entire character progression was focused in linking these things together, finding how these three concepts that he wasn't even putting together at first, seeing how they connect, and finding how he can be content on Earth by merit of these things just by themselves. And that progression into finding these things, finding those meanings, is visible. The inclusion of Wade's family and their Jewish and family traditions was an excellent way to carry these themes forward, staying focused on the many things that defined them as people. How these people, like Knuckles, focused on those who came before them, and kept in mind how their past experiences and the experiences of their ancestors led them to who they are today. This was a family struggling to stay together, but still holding on to their old traditions, honoring their ancestors, staying focused on the many things that defined them. Knuckles related to them so hard, and it provided a much deeper view into Knuckles' perspective. I mean, like Mother Whipple said, he's basically Jewish. I mean, I know she said that as a joke, but that is extremely true. That is literally, like writing-wise, why Wade was part Jew to begin with. To allow Knuckles' passions and his past to be covered and represented by Wade in every possible aspect. Wade and his family, like I said, are an allegory for Knuckles and just who he is and what makes him the best! In both movies, the characters were very well suited to their themes, but the Knuckles show carried this proactivity for the themes that Sonic, ironically, can't seem to keep up with. In closing, the Knuckles show, to me, feels like kind of the opportunity that the Sonic movies missed. Here, Knuckles as a character is shown for what the fans already love him for, while with Sonic they had to make these weird compromises that compromised a lot of how Sonic interacted with the other characters and where his appeal came from. Knuckles had a much more deep and poetic relationship with his buddy character in Wade that Sonic unfortunately couldn't really live up to. Knuckles was shown to be a powerful character in a way that Sonic didn't even seem like he was trying. And the Knuckles show had themes and poetry and just flavor that the Sonic movie only seems to aspire to. Like I said, the Knuckles TV show seems to really achieve what the Sonic movies have been trying for this whole time. And I like it for that. Maybe too much screen time was on Wade. Maybe they were trying to save CGI budget by just putting the camera on Wade more. But regardless of who was on the camera, the entire show was about Knuckles. I couldn't really ask for a better Knuckles show, to be honest. I can't really imagine what such a one would look like. I've never seen characters dived in so deep, especially not in Sonic media. But hey, this isn't all the analysis I'm doing. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you know exactly when I get to talk your leaves off again, and be sure to like and comment below how thoroughly you disagree with me. That said, I had to go get a drink of water.